I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Fucking A.
Hi there, folks, and just trying to fix the lighting in this, but wanted to upload another review today this is the third Dolph Lundgren film I was talking about when I wanted to re-review them, The Punisher and Showdown Low Tokyo. This would be in my top 5 of Dolph Lundgren films, and to be honest, Dolph Lundgren has had a lot of underrated stuff. I mean, I'm a fan of this guy, and a lot of his films are really underrated, because a lot of his films like The Punisher, Showdown Low Tokyo, I Come in Peace, which is my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. It's like Dolph has had a lot of good movies, but a lot of bad luck. But I would say even out of all those films, like I Come in Peace would be my favorite Dolph Lundgren film. But if I talk about his most underrated film, like a film that no one talks about, like at least some people talk about The Punisher. Some people talk about I Come in Peace, like my friends. Like Michael Keane and my Mike OCP Communications and other friends of mine. This is, I think, his most underrated film because no one talks about this, and that's Men of War. Right off the bat, I'm going to say to my friend Michael Keane, I know you're a Dolph Lundgren fan, see this movie as soon as possible. Uh, Anyone out there who's a fan of Dolph Lundgren, if you have not seen this movie, see it as soon as possible. If you're a fan of action movies, see this film as soon as possible. Because this film is criminally underrated and I don't understand why. Now, this film was released by Dimension. And this film looks like it's a film that would have been in theaters. But for some damn reason, it was released theatrically worldwide except for the United States, United Kingdom, and Germany. And I wanted to re-review this film because I thought I could do a better job. And I know on my old review there's a guy who is very much in the Dolph Lundgren called Jerry Dam. That's his username on YouTube. He was talking about how something about the exhibitors or something didn't think that Dolph Lundgren could open a movie as a hero. That's why they decided not to release it in theaters. They just released it direct to video, like December 1995 or so. This is a 1994 film, but I think they released the video like just straight to video, either December of 94 or December of 95, which is, I guess they're thinking as well his biggest hits in theaters were Rocky IV and Universal Soldier, which Dolph Lundgren happened to be a bad guy. But then Red Scorpion didn't do a lot of business. I Come in Peace did nothing, which sucks. Sean Little Tokyo, they only, well hell, Warner Bros. Put in like 140 fucking theaters, so it had no chance, even though that's a great, fun film. The Punisher was going to go with these, but the New Old Pictures went to the shitter. Masters of the Universe, Canon Films fucked that movie up because, like, there was a little short that my friend Mike showed me. Like, I guess they're doing a documentary on the Masters of the Universe, the toy, and the films. And there's a clip where, like, what was it, Mattel or whoever put up half the money and Canon was supposed to put up the other half, but then Canon didn't because they were cheap-ass motherfuckers. And they like were going out of business. They had no money and they were banking on this movie to get them out of it. And canon really was a bit fucked up on that movie. So Dolph Lundgren just had bad luck with this shit. And this film should have been in theaters. And it looks like it. It's $6 million budget, but it looks like a film that would be put in theaters. And then that's real quickly a problem I have with movies of today, especially action movies that go direct to video. They don't look like films to me anymore. They look cheap. I don't know if people will understand what I'm talking about, but the problem with direct-to-DVD action movies of today is that they just look cheap. Like the camera, like they probably have a camera or color scheme like this does right now you've seen on YouTube with this video. It looks cheap. It looks, I don't want to say grainy, but like the color scheme and the camera work. I don't know how else to put it. It's just films look cheaper. I guess because they are cheapskates now, but that's kind of a problem I have with a lot of action films that go direct to DVD. They look cheap, like something you would see on TV, like on, you know, a TV show. See, I would like to go actually see a film, and this looks like a film. And being Dimension Films, this was, I'm sure, supposed to go to theaters, and it looks like it. So it's a good-looking movie, great, beautiful location. But I should actually get to the plot of the movie. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I always do that. Now, real off the bat, it was directed by this guy named Perry Lane, who I should have put this guy on underrated directors because lately he's just directed TV. And what I mean by that is like when I was talking about films that are underrated, I did that video about underrated directors. I should have put this guy. Because this guy's only directed 2 films. Little Vegas, which I've never seen, in 1990, and I think this was the last film he actually directed. Because after this, he just directed episodes on TV. And that's a fucking shame, because, yeah, just episodes on TV series. Because this is a really good film, and Perry Lane did a bang-up job, and this guy was an actor first. So, yeah, he was an actor first. And actually, Perry Lane, I think, is one of the actors. I think Perry Lane, the director, is one of the 2 guys who, basically these 2 rich guys, they hired Dolph Lundgren, who's this, he used to be a mercenary, but he's retired. He's trying to find a job, but you realize he can't find a job. He's having troubles finding a job. No matter what he does, no matter what he tries to do. And he doesn't want to do this anymore, so he looks to his a mentor this guy had, Dolph Lundgren had, played by Kevin Teague. If you've seen Roadhouse, you know who Kevin Teague is. And so anyway, the 2 guys who hire him, one is Thomas Gibson. That's the guy, I think, from Dharma and Greg. He was great in Dharma and Greg. And the other guy is actually Perry Lane, the director. I didn't realize that till now. So the 2 rich guys who try to hire him. And so Dolph Lundgren finally accepts he doesn't want to, and he gets together his old team. And gets all these guys. And what makes the film work is this has a good story. I think it has a good script. Because the guy who wrote this film, there were some rewrites by these 2 guys. Get their names. Ethan Reef and Cyrus Voris. These are the 2 guys who would actually help write Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, which is a good one, after this. But most of the script, the original script, which was written by John Sayles, was maintained. So the good chunk of the script is still a John Sayles script, from what I understand. And it shows. Very well written film, in my opinion. And so Dolph Lundgren gets his men together, and really colorful group of people. I mean, you got, I'm trying to see, remember their names. You got Anthony John Dennison, who plays this sort of guy from Brooklyn. You got Tim Gwinney, who I think was actually in John Carpenter's Vampires. This kind of like a more spiritual type of guy. You got Tom Wright, who I really enjoyed. He's a character who like meets some kids on this island, because the whole thing is to get this group of people and go to this island that these two rich guys want the island, and they want the locals to sign over the island to these guys for minerals on the island. They don't specify what. The speculation that it's jade, but they don't really say what the minerals are. And so Dolph Lundgren is supposed to get this team together, go over there, make the locals sign over, and leave and get paid for it. And so they go over there. Tim Wright, who's been in a lot of films, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, Murder 1600, Barbershop. He did a really good job as a character. Like, you see him like he's playing with football with the kids, and that comes into later on in the film, where he becomes one of the good guys, and the kids are kind of helping him out. Tiny Lister Jr., he's there. He's basically psychopath, pretty much. You have this girl who later joins them. Get her name. Should have had this set up before. I know her character's name is Gracie. Just basically before they get to the island, they're on their way, and they decide to stop at this this bay, which is like a party town, and it's like Puna Bay, I believe is the name. And they're at this bar that they got checked in their guns, and as they're, partying, this girl comes in just wanting to have a drink. I know the character's name is Gracie, which I don't know why they're not showing on fucking IMDb. Oh, there is Grace. Catherine Bell. She did a really good job in this as well. Very good looking, but also very tough as well. Let's see, what else has she been in? TV series Jag. She was in that a lot. And mainly a lot of small parts. But Jag, the TV show, I think, is her big claim to fame. But there's a fun like bar fight, and then there's a bunch of commotion outside, and Dolph Lundgren is with his men, and then you introduce to our main bad guy, played by Trevor Goddard. And Trevor Goddard, who's no longer with us, but he's the same guy who played Kano in the first Mortal Kombat movie. And you can tell that he has some personal history with Dolph. And, he's like, I'm going to charge you guys for murder. He's like, well, no one's been killed. And Trevor Goddard's like, oh, yeah, like, I think he was like Australian, or, let's see, what's his nationality? I was born in Croydon, Surrey, England, so I was way off on that. He was born in England. But he did a really good job in this. He's just very, like, a bad guy you want to hate. He's very fun. He's over the top in a good way. It's like, oh no, someone's been killed. No, not only have they been killed, they've been fucking murdered, and then shoots one of his own men. And you see that? Someone's been murdered, so I'm going to take you all in. And Dolph's like, okay, I know you, we have some business, how about we have it out? And he's like, oh, you mean one-on-one? Okay. But then Trevor Goddard's like, but here's the thing. It's not you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, I hit you. This is, I hit you. I hit you, and I fucking hit you. Anytime he touches me, kill one of his own men. And so you get like an interesting scene. This is like one of those scenes like, okay, this is an interesting scene, and you think it's just a typical action movie. This is like an interesting scene where it shows Dolph as a leader who wants to protect his men, just having to take all these hits by Trevor Goddard and not be able to hit him back. And Trevor Goddard's like crazy. Like, he sort of kisses Dolph, but then beats the shit out of him. He's just a really crazy guy, this guy, bad guy. And beats the shit out of Dolph, but Dolph doesn't fight back because he doesn't want one of his men killed. And then that woman, Grace, joins them to get to the island. And then most of the film is them getting to the island, and they meet this guy named Poe, played by BD1, who you think like he's going to be like the dumb, typical, typical dumb stereotype native. But he's not. He's a lot smarter than he gives these people credit for. Uh, he's a more interesting character. Like the first time you see him, like Dolph, which really enough, Dolph on his character's name is Gunner. Nick Gunner. And think about it. This is a film where Dolph plays a mercenary named Gunner. Kind of like the Expendables, right? And Expendables is called Gunnar Jensen. But here, he's playing a mercenary. His name's Nick Gunner. So I'm like, did someone on Expendables watch this movie beforehand? I mean, it makes me think, the same name of Gunner. That's just really a big coincidence. Of all the names to pick is Gunner. But like, they're trying to be sneaky on the island, and then BD1 comes there and he's taking a piss, and he sees, he's like, you guys lost? And like keeps calling them boss, and they sort of get into the island, and they meet like Charlotte Lewis from The Golden Child. She's one of the inhabitants of the island, and they're very much a peaceful community, and much about the the spirits of the land. And they're trying to get these guys to sign over, and they don't want to. And Dolph, it's sort of like the movie rises up to Dolph understanding these people, like, why don't you guys sign? And they're like, well, we don't want our village to be turned into Puna Bay, which is like this slutty, gambling, guns, all this stuff in Puna Bay. They're like, we'd rather die than turn into that. And you have an interesting scene, for instance, where all the children take the mercenaries' guns and put it to their heads. And, like, of course, the mercenaries don't want to shoot, except Tiny Lizard, who's a psycho. And Dolph's like, pull back, pull back. And so, you buy the change, and granted, the middle's a little bit slow pace in the middle, like him and Charlotte Lewis. I don't know, you don't really buy the romance between them, at least to me. I mean, it didn't bother me too much, but I think it had to be in there to make you buy in the fact that Dolph changes his mind, especially when he goes back to these two guys, the rich guys, and he's like, well, maybe we can make a deal. I mean, what's the whole deal with this? What are you guys looking for? And then two guys admit it's bird shit. And Dolph is just flabbergasted, like, what? Like, yeah, that the island is covered with it, and underground is bat shit, guano. There's tons of minerals. And what's sad is that that's actually a truthful thing, where how businesses are just so crazy that, Dolph is like, you want me to kill people for bird shit? And they're like, you done it for less. And that might seem comical, but at the same time, it's kind of got a truth to it. Don't believe me, look it up. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. I'm not saying this is based on a true story. I'm just saying I can see that happening, especially with rich businesses, and there are a lot of minerals in that stuff. Believe me, I've seen a lot of dirty jobs with Mike Rowe and stuff to know that, there's minerals and stuff in that kind of dirty work. And that just is sort of the straw that breaks Dolph's back. And he, like, takes Tiny Lizard Jr.'s gun and tells him to get in the boat. Some stay with him, like, I think Tom Wright. He's the black guy who's helped, playing football with the kids. And the girl, Grace. And Tim Gwynny's kind of more of a spiritual type of guy. I think all the men have their own characteristics, which makes it a fun movie as well. And now Trevor Goddard is with those two rich guys, and Trevor Goddard is now with the men that Dolph says get off the island. Either you're with me or you're with them. So trying to split into two. And the last half hour or 30, 35 minutes, it's just wall-to-wall action. Fun action. I mean, Dolph Lundgren has his old-ass like rocket launcher, blowing the shit out of huts and, fucking people up left and right. There's a nice slow-mo where he gets a knife and cuts the guy's throat and boom, boom. Well done action sequences. Great location on the island. I think it's the same island where they later shot The Beach, Leonardo DiCaprio. It's well shot film. It's a film that you definitely see would have been perfect for theaters. It doesn't look cheap at all in my opinion, but it had like a $6 million budget. Uh, Again, it has a better story to it. Has some good fun to it. Like earlier on when BD1 gives Dolph and these guys these eggs and they open up and drink it because they think it's part of the ritual. And Dolph says, "So do you guys eat this a lot or just for rituals?" And BD1's like, "You kidding? We don't eat that shit." uh, it's just really great dialogue, like the final battle between Dolph and Trevor Goddard is like in these caves with all these bones and stuff, and Dolph's like, "Welcome to hell." And you have some fun humor, like he tries to kill Trevor Goddard with this hatchet, but it's so old when it hits Trevor Goddard's head, it breaks apart. And Dolph's like, "Fuck, shit." So, and that's a badass final fight. I mean, it's better than movies that get into theaters today. Really badass brawl, good choreography, but it is a brawl. That's a brawl that works. You watch Men of War. This is a low budget film for $6 million, and I'll be honest, that brawl is better than the Expendables 2 brawl, which is fucking insanely. That's why I'll say why now. I like this movie better than Expendables 2. You didn't have more action. Yeah, Expendables 2 has more action, but this has a better story. I think it looks better, like film-wise. The action scenes, when they happen, I think they're more memorable. I think the last half hour of this film has more memorable action than Expendables 2. But it also has, like, better dialogue, thanks to John Sayles, and better character development. And there's not just some... I don't think there's just some typical dumb, straight-to-video action movie that you see nowadays. This is a film that has a good script by John Sayles. I mean, you check out Alligator, you're like, hey, it's a monster movie, but it has a better than average script and characters because of John Sayles. Same thing with here. You think it's just a dumb action movie, but with John Sayles' script, it's a better than average one. I won't even say better than average. I would say a badass one, a solid one. Um, the action scenes work at the ending. Like Dolph Lundgren is just taking out huts and people one by one with this rocket launcher that he unloads. And like my favorite part is there's this guy trying to sneak up on him, and he has his rocket, and of course he turns, shoots, but of course it's the rocket launcher, kind of like a bazooka, in the back. When it fires, the bat sort of flashes fire. So some unfortunate bastard tried to shoot Dolph in the back, and when Dolph shoots, it flashes back and fries the guy, the fricassee behind him. And Dolph says, "Don't sneak up on people." I thought that was a badass line. Don't sneak up on people. I thought Dolph delivered that great. Wonderful action scene. Everybody gets their moments. Uh, like the little kids who the town rider was playing football with help him. Like they're using their old tricks to help fight Tiny Lister Jr. I'm not gonna go. I know it's 22 minutes. I'm not gonna go more in depth than that because I want you guys to check it out. But what I love about Men of War is I'll say it again. I keep repeating myself, but the script and the story is better than you think, in my opinion. I think the film goes at a good pace. In the middle, it kind of slows down in the middle, I will admit. That's my only beef. It kind of slows down in the middle. But the beautiful locations of the island, Dolph Lundgren, I think he did a solid job. Everybody, very capable cast. Very capable cast. I really like the cast. Charlotte Lewis, BD1, Anthony John Dennison, Tom Wright, Tiny Lister Jr. Trevor Goddard is a great bad guy as Kiefer. He's a wonderful bad guy. He has a lot of energy to him. He's not boring to watch. You're not sure what he'll do next, and apparently in real life he was kind of that way too. It's sad that he's passed away. But if you watch him as Kano in Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat movie, he has more to play around in this movie because he's the main bad guy. And just the last half hour, 35 minutes, is a lot of action, all practical, no shaky cam, well shot. Well directed by Perry Lane. Like this is like his second film and like his last film, actual film to direct, and he just went into TV work. That sucks because Perry Lane did a great job. And that bullshit, oh, Dolph could not open a movie in theaters as a hero. Wow, Dimension, you fucking pricks. Go suck a dick. How about that? Uh, uh, Memorable dialogue. I really like the woman that joins him, Grace. She was like capable, strong. I like BD Wan's character Poe, who he like tells him, "Oh yeah, I learned a few bits of English from National Geographic," but later on you find out he's actually a busboy in San Francisco, and he's like, "If I told you I was a busboy, you'd treat me like a busboy." And he's a very capable character as well, very likable character. There's more to him than you think at first. That's what I like about the film. It does a good job developing the story, but at the same time you get your action, you get some fun humor, you get some uh, very solid acting, you get a capable score by, I want to get the guy who did the score. Why isn't that saying here who did the music? Gerald Goriet. I can't praise this film enough. And Dolph Lundgren with this, like Dolph Lundgren has better stuff. I mean, granted, he's the lead, but this is why one of the things I was disappointed with Expendables 2 is that Dolph Lundgren has nothing to do. Like, granted, his character's name is Gunner, but other than being a joke, he doesn't have nothing to do than be a joke. Like, take some tips from this Gunner. Give him a fucking rocket launcher. Like, steal from this. Give him a rocket launcher. Two, or something like that. I mean, this is a $6 million budget. They had $100 million budget. Shit. A really great fight at the end, and these sort of, again, in these caves with all these bones and stuff. Trevor Goddard's death scenes, pretty graphic as well, and memorable. I keep saying memorable because this film is sorely underrated. It is bullshit that it did not get more stuff. It really is. And I don't know what more to say than there's this website for Dolph Lundgren, the official Dolph Lundgren website, where they actually mention this film. I guess Dolph's actually put his own thoughts on most of his films, including this one. And he says, "We had a very good cast of actors. It was an excellent script by John Sayles, who was an Academy Award-winning writer-director. The director, Perry Lane, used to be an actor, so he was easy to work with for the dramatic parts. Of all my movies, this is one of my best experiences, and the movie turned out pretty good too." So I thought that was nice that Dolph thought that I would love an interview with Dolph Lundgren to talk about this movie. I really would. I really would. This is a very, very, very underrated film with Dolph Lundgren, Men of War. Has good drama to it, has a good script to it, has great action to it, has a very solid cast to it. Highly underrated. If you like Dolph Lundgren in any way, shape, or form, if you like action films in any way, shape, or form, even if you don't like Dolph Lundgren, I would still give this a watch because maybe this will change your mind. It's just highly recommend to anybody out there. I cannot speak enough of Men of War. I mean, I'm not going to say it's one of the greatest action films you've ever seen. It's wall-to-wall action. Oh my God, you're going to come in your pants. I'm not going to say that. So maybe I'm building it up too much. But it just, for a film that no one talks about, a film that didn't even get into theaters when it should have, and it looks like it deserves a lot more. in my opinion. But that's Men of War. So either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you later.